Hey everybody, Meteorologist Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center. We had some light snow pass through the state earlier today, but the big story as we get later into this week is going to be the return of some milder days. In fact, things will get so mild, we will reach unseasonably warm levels, not quite to record levels, but certainly going to be warm for the second weekend of January. Let's start off with First Alert Live Radar because this was certainly useful today. So throughout the day, we were tracking snow showers with Connecticut's only live radar, and you can always track anything that develops from the free First Alert weather app. Really not much going on out there right now as the state's only live radar scans clear and dry, and that's thanks to this little clipper system passing by, mostly to our north at this point in time. There is some snow falling from, we'll say, parts of the 495 corridor in Massachusetts up through New Hampshire and into Maine. We did not see any accumulation from this. There really wasn't much impact. What we certainly still see is the lingering cloudiness. A live look on our iCam here in Mystic showcasing the clouds pretty well right now. Note the flag. It is just hanging there. A calm wind outside right now. We'll take you next to our iCam here in Middletown, where we also see quite a bit of cloud cover. We are expecting the clouds to stick around throughout the night. Not only that, but our wind is out of the south. And that means temperatures right now compared to 24 hours ago are up, in fact, considerably in some spots. Meriden, 10 degrees warmer right now. Waterbury, Groton, 9 degrees warmer right now. The difference is not quite as significant across northeastern Connecticut. And that's because you'll note the temperatures in the quiet corner are in the mid-20s. 25 in Putnam right now. Willimantic sitting at 28. We're at 28 in Windsor Locks at Bradley International. We have some low 30s on the map, but as you head to the shoreline, temperatures have only gotten higher since we last saw you over on the wax at 7:30. 38 in New Haven right now, 37 in Groton. And these numbers are actually expected to climb a little bit more before they drop back. So you can expect things, relatively speaking, to be just a little bit milder through about midnight tonight. And then we'll start to see temperatures fall as you'd typically expect. And by dawn tomorrow, we're thinking, say, low and mid-20s throughout inland Connecticut, 25 to 30 closer to the shoreline. But we do keep that cloud cover around, so that will be present as we start off the day tomorrow. Temperatures will start to climb tomorrow. We're expecting highs between about 35 and 40 degrees. Best chance to see 40 will be along the shoreline. We keep the clouds around throughout the day, but it will be a mainly dry day. However, tomorrow evening, we'll be looking at a brief period of maybe some wintry mix or some light rain showers. These don't look like they're going to have too much of an impact, but we are giving you the first alert that things will be at least briefly unsettled, courtesy of a warm front lifting north. By 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can certainly see the cloudiness, but watch as this warm front approaches, helping to reinforce that cloud cover and maybe an overcast sky by, say, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And that's when we track some of those light showers. Those will be moving through into the pre-dawn hours Wednesday, but by dawn on Wednesday will be dry. And then the cold front will be well offshore. And we actually see some partial clearing later in the day Wednesday. We'll show you the zoomed-in view because this maybe is a better way to talk about how the actual shower chances are going to evolve. So let's zoom right in here on the state of Connecticut. 3 o'clock tomorrow. Note the wind arrows out of the east. So we have this easterly flow throughout the day tomorrow. We keep the cloud cover intact throughout most of the day. It thickens up by 9 o'clock tomorrow. We're tracking these pink pixels, especially in the northwestern part of the state and into the Connecticut River Valley. So this is just some light wintry mix, some light mixed showers. We're really not expecting too much of an impact out of this, especially because temperatures tomorrow afternoon will at least for a brief period of time be above freezing. This continues through about 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So about 24 hours from right now into the overnight hours is when we expect these light showers to be passing on through. Watch as we approach Wednesday morning, though. Very quickly starting to see that shift to more of a westerly wind and drying out in the process until we see a northwesterly wind develop on Wednesday afternoon. And you may be thinking to yourself, shouldn't this be a nice reinforcing push of colder air for us? Well, that's actually not going to be the case. On the First Alert 7-day forecast, you'll note the temperature trend here from 37 tomorrow to 42 on Wednesday to 46 on Thursday. And by January standards, Thursday will feel great. We see a lot of sunshine. It's going to be milder than normal, and we aren't expecting any wind. Temperatures climb even higher by Friday. We're going 50 degrees, showers, especially in the afternoon. 42 Friday night, 53 on Saturday. So we're even warmer, unseasonably so. But we will be, of course, battling showers, so maybe not a great day to get outdoors. Along the shoreline, close to 40 tomorrow, 45 on Wednesday, 47 on Thursday, 51 on Friday, 56 on Saturday, and then temperatures start to drop back a little bit Sunday into Monday. But even then, while Sunday will be breezy, so those mid-40s could feel a little bit chillier than that, we are still running above normal. And then Monday, we will be in the upper 30s. Now, when it comes to the actual record for Saturday, we're close, not quite there. We do expect the records to be safe as we see it right now. We're forecasting 53 for the Hartford area. Record is 59, set in 2016. In Bridgeport, we are forecasting 56. The record is 60, set in 2016. These are, maybe tough to achieve, which is why the records. We, of course, will be the first to alert you if we see an increasing chance that these records will be within reach. But again, this comes with showers. All this warmth comes with showers. Here's 3 p.m. on Saturday on our model comparison. This is really a good way to show the agreement between the models, that we have pretty good agreement amongst all of our computer model guidance that Saturday will be a wetter day. This is good because it can help to wash some of the salt off your cars, get some of the salt off the roads. And perhaps the best part about this is that we're not expecting a refreeze. So there's no flash freeze concern. There's no big dip in temperature thereafter. There's no Arctic freeze that will follow this up. In fact, on the 8 to 14 day outlook here, which brings us from the 13th through the 19th of January, these shades of orange are still over Connecticut and especially over New England as a whole and New York. So we might be looking at a pattern that actually favors things to be running a bit milder as we approach the mid part of the month. There's still a lot of January to go, even after we get past the 15th. Don't forget that. But we will, of course, be watching very closely as to how the pattern evolves, both relative to what we typically would see this time of year, because we are approaching what is typically the coldest stretch of the year. Starting on Friday, January 9th, our average high temperature for the Hartford area dips to 35 degrees. This is our coldest average high, and it will be 35 from January 9th through the 30th. So that is a 21-day stretch, a 3-week stretch, where the average high temperature is 35. By the end of the month, the average high starts to climb, and believe it or not, by the end of February, our average high is back in the lower 40s. We start to see those changes happen a bit more rapidly as we approach the end of meteorological winter, and especially as we get into meteorological spring. But we still have a lot of winter to go. So what exactly does that mean when it comes to snow? Where have we been? Where are we going? We have seen 10.8 inches for the Hartford area so far this season, 11.9 inches in Bridgeport. Some of these weak clipper systems that have passed through have favored southern Connecticut for some of that light snow. A 3.5-inch deficit for the Hartford area, a surplus in Bridgeport. But perhaps what tells a better story is when we look at the average snowfall by month. This past December, 10.1 inches is what we would average. We saw 8.9. So even though we had some snow for the Hartford area, it still fell short of what we would typically see in December. Not only that, but January and February typically are the snowiest months for the Hartford area. But look at March, sort of sneaky here. We typically see 9.4 inches in the month of March. So even as we get through January and February, we're still not quite out of the woods yet if you don't like snow, or perhaps you do love the snow. Maybe you'll still have something to look forward to. All of this to say there's still a lot of winter left to go. This thaw that we are experiencing right now will lead to significant melting. Thankfully, no flooding concerns or anything like that. But expect the snowpack to probably entirely disappear as we go all the way through the weekend. And then as we get into next week, we'll have to see how things evolve. But as we see it right now, temperatures do dip back into the 30s, at least on Monday. This also could be a nice little break to maybe open up your windows just a little bit on Saturday, let some of that fresh air in with temperatures in the mid-50s. Not quite warm enough to really enjoy things like that, but, it's always nice when we get that little taste of these milder days in the middle of January. It's worth mentioning that those temperatures on Saturday would be more typical of the end of March. So just to sort of give an idea of where that would typically be on the calendar. We have much more for you coming up tonight on The Wax at 10 and Channel 3 at 11 with Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon. So make sure you join us. We'll be breaking down this forecast in depth, and we'll be talking, of course, about all of the day's top news stories too. And if you always want to have the forecast right in the palm of your hand, you can do so with the free First Alert weather app. We'll see you on the Wax in 20.